Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a review of the new Little Mermaid movie. I would advise you not to watch this video if you don't want any spoilers. The main cast: Ariel. I thought Halle Bailey did an incredible job. She embodied the character perfectly, and her voice is amazing. Halle emotes really well with her voice, and she was able to make the song Part of Your World her own, without taking away from the original version. I don't think people realize how difficult that is to achieve. She did a good job of balancing Ariel's bubbly personality with her softer and more vulnerable side. Prince Eric. Prince Eric was different than what I thought he would be, but I don't mean that in a bad way. He definitely looked more mature in this version, instead of the youthful and playful version we are used to seeing of him. I liked that Prince Eric was given more of a backstory, because in the original version, we don't learn much about him. Also in this version, Prince Eric becomes a prince because the queen of the island took Eric in as her own, when he survived a shipwreck and lost his family. This detail gives Eric more layers, because you can understand why he wants to go out and explore the world, after being forbidden from doing so by his mother for so long. He also talks about how he wants to learn more about other countries and cultures. Their love of adventure, the sea, and wanting to learn more about the world, gives Ariel and Eric a much deeper connection, and makes them that much of a stronger couple. Ursula. Ursula was fabulous. I feel like Melissa's version of Ursula was a little more sarcastic and dark. She did a really good job of playing Ursula up to be the big bad villain she is, without going overboard. Her version of Poor Unfortunate Souls was good, but it didn't blow me away. Something about it just felt a little off to me. The song just didn't feel as powerful and emotional as the original version. Melissa definitely knew how to be scary though, because some of her facial expressions and the shots of her in the dark murky water definitely felt creepy. And when she transforms and bursts out of the water, she really looked scary. King Tridon. King Tridon had a much more quiet anger in this version. His voice hardly rose and he did not yell very much. He was strict and intense, but didn't have the I need to be the loudest in the room attitude that I thought he would. I think in a way, it's better he wasn't as loud and intense as he was in the original, because I imagine it would have been much scarier for the kids, and harder for the audience to empathize with him, if he had an uncontrollable temper. If he had been more like his original self, I think everyone would have just seen him as a hothead with no self-control. Sebastian. Sebastian was wonderful. He had a sense of humor, but also had a lot of anxiety because he constantly has to make sure Ariel stays out of trouble, and keep King Tridon happy. I think David did a wonderful job of giving a new voice to Sebastian, without losing the joy and spirit that the original voice actor brought to the role. I loved the new version of Under the Sea. It was so fun and catchy. I couldn't help but sing along to it in the theater. Flounder. Flounder in a way reminds me of Ariel because of his wonder and curiosity, but as we all know, Flounder gets scared pretty easily. Jacob did a great job of balancing Flounder's joy and curiosity with fear and anxiety. I still got the little guppy vibes from Flounder, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Flounder was kinda cute. He still had a little bit of that wide-eyed look that he had in the original version. I think the animators and special effects crew did a wonderful job of making sure Flounder had different facial expressions. Scuttle. Scuttle was as hilarious and wacky as she was in the original. Aquafina brought wonderful personality to Scuttle, and they made sure that Scuttle still had her signature one-liners, like the Dinglahopper line. Next, I will talk about Eric and Ariel's chemistry. Prince Eric and Ariel didn't have instant chemistry, since Eric barely sees Ariel at all when she rescues him. He cannot seem to remember what she looked like at all, where in the original, you can tell he is excited when he first sees Ariel, because his face brightens up and he can't wait to talk to her. In this version, Ariel is under a spell from Ursula, where anytime someone mentions she has to kiss Eric, she forgets about it and becomes tired and distracted. Once they start to read in his study, and admire the different artifacts Eric has gotten from his traveling, you can see them really start to connect. Also when Ursula puts the spell on Eric to marry her instead of Ariel, you can tell the spell isn't very strong. Because he keeps breaking out of the spell and asking about Ariel. When they do finally get together at the end, their love truly feels like a victory. The special effects. I think it's ridiculous how so many people keep saying that Ariel's tail isn't very realistic. Of course it's not realistic. Do any of us really know what mermaids look like? I mean the movie as a whole isn't realistic. People can suspend their disbelief for the plot, but not for the tail? Come on now people, where's your imagination? Did you lose it under the sea somewhere? I also noticed that Ariel's arms had a bit of a scaly look to them, which I thought was cool and made her mermaid look more believable. I do agree that they should have tried to find a way to make the underwater shots brighter, because sometimes it was so dark that I couldn't even tell what character was on screen. The sets on land were beautiful. The island Prince Eric and Ariel were on definitely had strong Caribbean roots, with West Indian, Asian, and Hispanic influences as well. Prince Eric even mentioned Venezuela, which made me excited, since I'm half Venezuelan and Venezuela usually isn't mentioned in movies, especially big budget movies like this, so I appreciated that Venezuela got a shout out. The costumes were pretty accurate to the original, except for Ariel. She wears a light blue dress with a pink headband for most of her time on land. She also wears heels, but she prefers to be barefoot. I loved the blue dress Hall wore on land. I think the light blue and pink complemented Hall's hair and skin tone beautifully. The castle Prince Eric lived in looked very majestic and regal. It definitely was a home fit for a king. The music had a good mix of old and new. The only song I didn't really like very much was the Scuttlebutt song. It was kinda cute and funny, but it went on for far too long, and just started to feel repetitive and cringy after a while. I also liked Prince Eric's original song. His song really conveyed his feelings and what he wants to experience out of life, which gave him more depth and humanity. The song made him feel more like a real person, instead of some random hot guy Ariel wants to be with. The final battle and the ending. One major change in the final battle was that Ariel killed Ursula with the ship instead of Eric. I liked that change because Ariel was taking charge of her life and standing up for herself, instead of it being the typical man saves a woman so he can be the hero trope. They also didn't show the wedding. Instead, we see Prince Eric and Ariel go on a boat so they can go to their honeymoon destination. Ariel still has a touching moment with her father, and gets to see her sisters again before she and Eric sail away on the boat. Overall, I think the movie was wonderful, and I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to watch a fun movie that has action, suspense, romance, and a happy ending. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please leave a comment, and let me know if you've seen the movie, and what you thought about the film. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to fix my hair with a dinglehopper now. Have a great day.